Have you ever picked up a jar of goat milk cream, felt its silky texture between your fingers, and wondered, truly wondered, what hidden journey that product took before it reached your hands? Most people never think about it. They see the elegant packaging, the soft pastel labels, the promises printed in delicate fonts, and they assume the story begins and ends on a store shelf. But the real story, the one the cosmetics industry rarely talks about, starts somewhere far less glamorous, somewhere raw and industrial and almost shocking in its complexity. Today, you are about to walk through the doors of a modern cosmetics factory producing one of the most sought-after skincare ingredients on the planet, pure goat milk. And what you're going to see inside those walls will change the way you look at every cream, serum and lotion you have ever owned. The global cosmetics market is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and within that universe, goat milk-based products have carved out an almost cult-like following. Dermatologists recommend them, celebrities swear by them, luxury brands charge astonishing prices for a single jar. But why? What is it about the milk of a goat that has made it one of the most coveted raw materials in the entire beauty industry? The answer lies deep inside the chemistry of the milk itself and inside the highly controlled, meticulously engineered production lines that transform raw animal milk into the cream sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. This is not a simple process. This is not something that happens in a quaint farmhouse kitchen with wooden spoons and copper pots. This is precision manufacturing at its most sophisticated, and virtually nobody outside the industry has ever seen what it actually looks like. Behind the polished branding and the soft-focus advertising campaigns, there are massive stainless steel tanks, industrial centrifuges spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute, clean rooms where workers wear full protective suits, and quality control laboratories running tests that most consumers could not even name. There are cold chain logistic systems, emulsification chambers, vacuum homogenizers, and filling lines that can package thousands of units per hour with a margin of error, measured in fractions of a millimeter. Every single drop of goat milk that enters a legitimate cosmetics facility passes through a gauntlet of scientific scrutiny that would surprise even the most informed buyer. And today you're getting full access to that gauntlet. Every stage, every machine, every secret step in the process. What makes goat milk particularly special from an industrial standpoint is its unique fat molecule structure. Unlike cow's milk, goat milk contains smaller fat globules that are naturally homogenized, meaning they do not separate as easily and are absorbed into the skin at a dramatically different rate. It is also rich in lactic acid, a naturally occurring alpha-hydroxy acid that gently exfoliates the skin's surface, and in vitamins A, B2, B6, B12, C, D, and E, a nutritional profile that sounds more like a medical supplement than a cosmetic ingredient. The selenium content in goat milk is also significant, as selenium plays a documented role in protecting the skin against environmental oxidative stress. Factories working with this material are not just processing milk. They are handling a biochemically complex substance that requires an entirely different level of care than most cosmetic raw materials. And yet, for all its scientific prestige, the journey of goat milk from farm to factory floor is one of the most tightly controlled and least publicized supply chains in the beauty world. The farms that supply premium cosmetics manufacturers operate under strict veterinary oversight. The goats are fed controlled diets, their health is monitored continuously, and the milking process itself is managed with a level of hygiene that rivals pharmaceutical production standards. Because the moment that milk leaves the animal and enters the industrial pipeline, its composition begins to change, and the factory must be ready to receive, stabilize, and transform it almost immediately. Before we go any further inside those factory walls, take a moment right now and drop a comment below telling me, did you know that goat milk was this complex? Did you imagine that your skincare cream went through this kind of industrial process before reaching you? Let me know in the comments, because the reactions to this kind of revelation are always extraordinary. And if you find this content as fascinating as millions of other people do, hit the like button right now and subscribe to the channel, because what is coming next, the actual step-by-step breakdown of what happens inside the factory, is even more surprising than anything you have read so far. The journey begins the moment a refrigerated tanker truck pulls into the receiving dock of the factory. The milk inside those tanks has been transported at a temperature of precisely 4 degrees Celsius. Any deviation, even a partial degree over an extended period, can alter the protein structure of the milk and render it unsuitable for cosmetic formulation. Upon arrival, a sample is immediately extracted and sent to the on-site laboratory, where technicians begin a battery of tests covering bacterial count, pH levels, fat content, protein percentage, and the presence of any antibiotics or contaminants. This initial testing phase can take anywhere from 40 minutes to several hours, and the milk does not move a single inch further along the production line until every test returns within acceptable parameters. Rejected batches are not uncommon. Even in the most reputable supply chains, a small percentage of deliveries fail to meet the standards required for cosmetic-grade formulation. Once cleared, the raw milk enters a series of enormous stainless steel storage tanks equipped with continuous agitation systems that keep the fat molecules in suspension and prevent any separation or stratification of the liquid. These tanks are connected directly to the next stage of the process through a closed pipe system that never exposes the milk to open air, because oxidation at this early stage can degrade key nutritional components before they ever make it into the final product. The entire receiving and storage infrastructure is designed around one central principle: preservation of the milk's original biochemical integrity, because the factory is paying a premium for that exact composition, and any degradation represents a direct financial and quality loss. The first major transformation the milk undergoes is pasteurization, but not the high-temperature pasteurization used in food production. Cosmetic manufacturers typically use a lower temperature, longer time protocol specifically calibrated to eliminate bacterial contamination while preserving the delicate proteins, enzymes, and vitamins that make goat milk effective as a skincare ingredient. The pasteurization equipment used in these facilities looks like something out of a pharmaceutical plant. Long serpentine heat exchangers made of pharmaceutical-grade stainless steel with precise temperature sensors positioned at multiple points along the flow path and automated control systems that make micro-adjustments in real time. A human operator monitors the process, but the actual temperature regulation is handled by programmable logic controllers that respond to changes in milliseconds. After pasteurization, the milk passes through a separator, a centrifugal device that spins the liquid at high speed to separate the cream fraction from the skim milk. In cosmetic production, both fractions have value, but the cream fraction, dense with fat and fat-soluble vitamins, is the primary target. The separated cream is collected into a secondary holding vessel, where its fat content is measured one more time, because the formulation recipes used downstream require a specific fat percentage that must be consistent from batch to batch. Inconsistency at this stage creates visible and textural differences in the final cream that consumers would immediately notice, which is why the quality control team at this point of the process is particularly rigorous. The emulsification stage is where the real magic and the real industrial complexity becomes visible. Goat milk cream is not simply milk poured into a jar. It is an emulsion, a stable mixture of water-based and oil-based components that would naturally repel each other without the intervention of emulsifying agents and high-shear mixing technology. The factory's emulsification suite contains vessels that can hold several hundred liters of product at a time, equipped with high-speed mixing impellers, vacuum systems that remove air bubbles from the mixture, and heating, cooling jackets that allow technicians to control the temperature of the emulsion with extraordinary precision throughout the mixing cycle. The order in which ingredients are added, the temperature at which each is incorporated, and the speed and duration of mixing all affect the final texture, stability, and absorption profile of the cream. This is not cooking. This is chemistry. Active ingredients, plant extracts, peptides, hyaluronic acid, additional vitamins are added at controlled temperatures to prevent thermal degradation. Preservative systems are incorporated and tested against a panel of microorganisms to ensure the product will remain safe and stable for its entire shelf life. Fragrance, when used, is added last and in carefully measured quantities because fragrance components are among the most chemically reactive ingredients in the formula. By the time the batch exits the emulsification vessel and moves toward filling, it has been tested no fewer than a dozen times by different members of the quality control team, using instruments ranging from simple pH meters to sophisticated rheometers that measure the viscosity and flow behavior of the cream with scientific precision. The filling line is where the factory's industrial scale becomes truly breathtaking. Automated filling machines handle the product with a level of speed and accuracy that no human hand could match, depositing exactly the right volume of cream into each jar or tube, sealing each container, applying labels, inserting leaflets, and packing finished units into secondary packaging, all in a continuous, coordinated sequence that runs at speeds of hundreds of units per minute. Every filled unit that comes off the line carries with it the entire story of everything that came before: the farm, the tanker, the laboratory, the pasteurizer, the separator, the emulsification tank, the quality control tests. It carries a secret industrial history that most consumers will never know. So the next time you open a jar of goat milk cream and feel that texture against your skin, ask yourself, how many machines touched this before I did? How many tests did it pass? How many hours of precision engineering went into making this moment possible? The cosmetics industry works very hard to make its products feel effortless and natural. And that effortlessness, ironically, is the result of some of the most sophisticated manufacturing processes on Earth. What surprised you most about this journey? Drop your answer in the comments below. The community here always has the most fascinating reactions to these factory revelations.